Are you ready for a mental workout? These riddles will make your brain sweat. So let's get it started. And bring a towel with you, okay? It's lunchtime at a large and busy office. Jeremy is enjoying some noodles from a takeout container. Yum! Liza prefers a healthy salad with shrimp. Seems like a pretty normal situation, but one of them is eating someone else's lunch. Yikes! Can you guess who? Looks like Jeremy likes to steal other people's food, or maybe it's just today. The container he's eating from is clearly labeled Brian, and he's not Brian. His own badge says Jeremy. Someone just robbed the jewelry store downtown. The robber ran inside the hospital and tried to mix with the crowd. But hey, no one can fool the local police officer. He has 3 suspects: a pregnant woman, an old man, and a blind man in sunglasses. Which of them is the disguised robber? It's the man with sunglasses. He's pretending to be blind, but he doesn't have a cane, which is suspicious. He must have just put those sunglasses on for disguise. Mindy is opening a new hair salon and wants to hire the best hairdressers. 3 candidates apply for the job. Alice claims to have 25 years of experience. Apple recently won a prestigious award. Natalie specializes in hair coloring, and her social media looks pretty amazing. One of the ladies is lying, though. Can you guess who? Alice says she has 25 years of experience, but her profile states she's only 30 years old. Unless she started working as a hairdresser at 5, she must be lying. Oh no, someone stole a pair of expensive high-heeled shoes from a designer boutique. Surveillance cameras inside weren't working, but luckily, there are some photos of people entering and exiting. Can you spot the thief? Look here. This woman became taller when she was leaving the store. She must have put on the high heels she had just stolen. A group of friends is going away for the weekend and renting a house. They agree to cook together, and everybody makes one dish. It's time to eat the soup, and everyone who has tried it starts giggling. The soup tastes like dessert, so the cook must have mixed up sugar and salt. Can you guess which of the friends cooked the soup? This guy in the corner has a fork instead of a spoon. He knew he wouldn't want the sweet soup anyways, so he didn't take a spoon for himself. 5 contestants make it to the final round of a popular cooking show on TV. Their task today is to talk about the most impressive cake they've ever made. Of course, they must show photos or videos of the cake. Sarah and Lizzie show the same absolutely amazing cake. Which one of them is lying that she made it? Both of them decided to cheat. The cake photo has the logo of its real creator in the bottom right corner. It says, "Made with Love by Nina Potter." You go to a museum that has an amazing new natural exhibition, but you didn't expect your immersion into nature to be so complete. One spider broke free from its exhibit window. Everyone is panicking, but you want to help out and spot it before it does something mean. Good luck saving everyone. Yay, here it is! The spider must have thought this beautiful painting is real and wanted to join the fam. Half of its body goes well beyond the frame. Don't like spiders? Yeah, me neither. I've got a bunny riddle for you. This cutie is running wild and free right into that field. Can you tell to what point it can run into that field? The bunny can only run as far as the middle of the field. After that midpoint, it will actually be running out of the field. Nancy has a job interview. It's going well, and she only has one question left to answer. The interviewer asks, "If you multiply all the numbers on your phone keypad, what number will you get?" Nancy is really confused since she isn't that good at math. Can you help her out? You don't have to be a math genius to solve this one. Multiplying any number by 0 always results in 0. And since there's a 0 on the phone, that's the answer. A really sweet-looking old man approaches Sam at the restaurant.
Hey!
He says Sam looks exactly like his son, whom he hasn't seen for years. He asks Sam a simple favor, to wave at him and say, "Bye, Dad," when he leaves the restaurant. Sam gladly does it, but minutes later, he gets a huge bill from the waiter. What just happened here? The old man told the waiter that his son would pay for his heavy lunch, and since Sam called him Dad, the waiter believed him. A famous painter is ready to give away one of his works for free to whoever guesses the logic behind this composition. The colors are burgundy, crimson, indigo, olive, and pink. Which color should go next and finish the sequence? The number of letters in the names of these colors gets reduced by 1 in every next row. So, any color that has 3 letters in its name will do. For example, tan or red. Ashley moves to a tiny town where everyone knows and helps each other. There are 2 nail artists to choose from. The first looks really fancy, and her nails are impeccable. She works at the only beauty studio in town, and it's really chic. The second one works at home, and her nails don't look so perfect. Which one should Ashley choose? Since they are the only 2 nail specialists, they do each other's nails. So Ashley should go to the second lady. She did a really great job on the other one. Tim is a real globetrotter and travels so much that he sometimes forgets where he is. He arrives at one of many hotels on his trip and wants to find out what time it is. He sees 3 clocks, each showing the time at one location. So, what time is it now? The Coliseum and Manhattan are just posters on the wall. And the Sydney Opera House is really there. You can see it through the window. So, the correct time is 9:25, mate. Someone stole the trophy from Angelina, who had just won the Best Actress award. There are 3 main suspects. Jim, a backstage crew member, claims that he was busy taking photos with all the celebrities. Nadia, an actress who didn't win this year, says this award meant nothing to her, so she wouldn't steal it. Kat, a celebrity stylist, says she was watching the ceremony with other guests, and they can confirm it. So, who's lying? If you look closely, you can see Nadia stealing the award in Jim's photos. I guess she wanted it after all. It's a summer weekend, and friends are chilling at a remote lake. 4 of them go inside the lake, which is completely empty. Sometime later, 8 people walked out of the lake. What just happened there? Well, 4 people who walked into the lake were carrying 4 friends on their shoulders on the way in. They jumped off inside the lake and walked out on their own. Elisa finds an ad that offers a 90% discount on her dream vacation to whoever can solve the riddle. The owner of the travel agency shows a $50 bill and asks to find the easiest way to double the money in 10 seconds. What should Elisa do to solve the riddle? She should just put the bill in front of a mirror to double the money. Ashley receives an unsigned love note with an invitation to a fancy date. Inside the envelope, there was also a calendar and a code, 12263. Can you help the girl figure out who sent the note? The calendar will help. You'll need to find all the numbers in the calendar, and the first letters of the respective months will make up the name. So 12 is circled in September, so it's the letter S. Number 26 is circled in August, so it's an A. 3 is in May, it's an M, so the guy's name is Sam. Did you manage to solve all the riddles? Which one of them was the hardest? Feel free to share in the comments below.
3 friends were invited to a costume party. They went dressed as zombies, but only one of them is an actual human being. The other 2 are real-life zombies. Can you guess who? The first woman has zombie makeup filled with fake stitches. But she's smiling too much, which means she's a human. Zombies don't show emotion. The other 2 have expressionless faces and really pale skin. They're zombies for sure. John called the police claiming his best friend Mark was missing. Mark had stayed in John's house in Miami while John went on a business trip to Chile. Now that he returned, he found Mark had disappeared without a trace. But the police didn't buy it. How did they know John was lying? John claimed to have just come back from Chile, but he was super tanned. Yet when it's summer in Miami, it's winter in Chile. He was clearly lying. Adam stopped by a gas station at night. He filled his tank and went inside to pay. There were only 2 people inside, a cashier and a customer dressed in black. The cashier handed him a receipt and said his total was $5.05. But when he checked the paper, the total was $18. He paid, went outside, and called the police. Why? Because he noticed the cashier had written 505 on the receipt, and when you flip it upside down, it spells SOS. She was in danger. Monday morning started with chaos in Brook Hollow. Someone had robbed the bank, and the suspect was seen heading into Brook Hollow High. Detective Delgado rushed to the scene and found 2 teachers in the hallway. It didn't take long before he figured it out. Can you spot the thief too? Take a close look at the second teacher's sleeve. There's a bit of cash sticking out. She's the one behind the heist. Detective Ramos stopped 3 women outside a mall after receiving a tip about a fugitive in disguise. One woman worked as a florist, the other was a yoga teacher, and the last one was a tech consultant. Can you tell which one is actually dangerous? The florist. If you look closely, you can see the outline of a blade taped to her thigh under her skirt. She's the one who is trying to hide something. Lena and her friends headed to a cozy cabin for a chill weekend of games and ghost stories. But Saturday morning, they woke up and noticed their food was gone. The cabin door's glass was smashed. When they searched the woods, they figured out who had done it. Take a look at the image. Who's the culprit? There were bear tracks in the top left corner. Oh, and a cookie wrapper lying right there. The bears were the culprit. Tara and Mina are both pregnant. One of them works in a library, and the other teaches outdoor survival skills. Based on the photo, can you figure out who's putting herself in danger? It's Tara. Although Mina is rock climbing, she's very safe with all the top-notch equipment. But Tara is trying to reach for a very tall booking, standing on top of an unstable chair. That's dangerous. To get the secret location of a famous pop star's surprise concert, fans had to solve this riddle. They each got a text message that asked them to figure out what has keys but couldn't open locks, had space but no room, and you could enter but never leave. Can you guess the answer here? It's a keyboard. It was one of the hottest days of summer, and Marissa decided to go grab ice cream with her boyfriend. When they arrived at the shop, they noticed something weird. One of the people working in the shop wasn't human. Which one is it? It's the woman operating the ice cream machine. Look at her hand. It's green, and it's not a glove. She's only pretending to be human, that's for sure. Beck is also a solo space ranger. He travels the universe in his own spaceship with his pet elephant. The elephant needs to shower once a week, so Beck uses a lack of gravity to help him do that. He opens his spaceship's navigation system and 3 different planets pop up: Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter. Can you help him choose the best planet to shower his pet? He should pick the planet where gravity isn't too strong, right? So he should pick Mars. Mary spent the last 3 months planning her backpacking trip through Europe. She was beyond excited when she finally hopped on her flight to Rome. She was looking for her seat on the plane when she noticed something very unusual. Take a look at the picture. Can you tell me what's wrong here? Why is there a tiger with a human hoodie sitting in one of the plane seats? This is wrong on so many levels. You walk into a diner for lunch, you order your food, and decide where to sit down. There are only 2 clients in the restaurant, but one of them is really suspicious. Where is it safe for you to sit down? The first guy looks suspicious, especially since he's holding a defensive device. The second girl looks more innocent. She's just sitting, holding a knife and cutting her salad with it. But hey, she's the real danger here. That huge knife is too big for cutting a salad, and it's got a red stain on it. Becca and her boyfriend Tim had a huge argument. He accused her of cheating with him and stormed out of the house. He felt guilty and came back to the house unannounced a few hours later. When Becca opened the door, she looked worried. Take a look at the image. Was Becca lying after all? Yes, she was. If you have really sharp eyes, you probably saw that Becca's lover was hidden right there next to the fireplace. He hid behind the logs, but you can still see a little bit of his feet coming out. There have been a series of disappearances in Auberville. Last week, a girl disappeared on the walk home from school and reappeared 2 days later, acting really weird. The police investigated what happened to her, and they concluded she'd been abducted. Take a look at this image. Use your logic to figure out why the police think she was abducted. Well, the girl is eating lunch with her hands. But while they're eating normal food, she's eating space food, the same food that NASA astronauts eat on their missions. That's probably why they think she was abducted. Maria is getting married next month. Some people confirmed their attendance last minute, and now she's cracking her head on how to sit them and watch the ceremony. Johnny and Harry are twins, and they can't stand each other. Rory and Emily are also twins that don't get along well. Barb is best friends with the guys, so she asks to sit next to one of them. What should the sitting order be so that no one freaks out? Rory should sit first, then Johnny and Barb. After them, Harry can sit down, followed by Emily. This way, peace prevails. Lily was perusing through her father's old photo albums for a school project. She found a picture of her father and his best friends at a party back in the 1970s. Her dad looked cool, but there was something weird about one of his friends. Can you take a look and see which one of his friends is from the future? It's the guy on the left. Take a look at his jeans pocket. He has a smartphone peeking out, but there were no smartphones back then, were there? He's definitely a time traveler.
Sometimes, solving a riddle isn't just a fun brain exercise, it could save someone else's life. Let's see if you can make it. It's summertime and everyone's at the beach. But for one of these girls, the dream vacation could end in a tragedy. Can you tell who's in danger here? Although the second girl looks well-equipped and prepared for anything, she's in dark water that could be dangerous. The first girl is in the shallow right next to the beach, so she can just run away or ask for help in case of danger. Okay, this time two guys are on vacation. They have completely different ideas of fun, so one is mountain skiing and the other one prefers surfing. Again, one of them is in real danger. Can you guess who? Well, that wave looks huge and scary, but it shouldn't be a problem for an experienced surfer. Meanwhile, screaming loudly in the mountains isn't the best idea though. It could start an avalanche. So the skiing guy should watch out. Leslie and Sam also have completely different ideas of fun. So Leslie is enjoying a beach day and Sam is exploring the forest. Which of the girls could be risking her life this very second? Now, unless a huge tsunami suddenly rolls in, Leslie is perfectly safe. Sam, on the other hand, has ignored the danger do not enter sign. Who knows what those plants could do to her? Ashley and Dana are having a spa day. Each of them orders drinks to relax even more after a long massage. But, oh no, one of them is about to get more than drinks, and it's not good. Who's in danger here? Ashley should be perfectly fine. The water is cold and the tray looks pretty stable. But Dana is about to get a hot tea shower on her uncovered back. And there's one more suspicious detail: an open tiny bottle with acids. Uh-oh. Tina and Scarlett want to go on a hot air balloon ride. The instructor offers to let them choose the balloon: a blue one, a green one, or a red one. Tina picks her favorite color, red, and Julie wants to go for the green one. Which of the girls is in danger? The color isn't that important when it comes to a hot air balloon. There are no sandbags in the red one, so Tina is about to risk her life. Hey, math fans! If you're tired of saving lives, this one's for you. How does a 9 become a 6 by adding one letter? Well, I tricked you. It's more about thinking outside the box than math. Put a letter S in front of the Roman numeral 9 and you'll get 6. See? Here comes another one. I add 5 to 9 and get 2. No mistake here, but what am I? If you add 9 days to 5 days, hey, you'll get 2 weeks. Ricky found money, a phone, and salted fish. But out of all this, he grabbed the salted fish and ran away. Strange choice. Can you guess what made him choose the fish? Well, Ricky is a cat and can't appreciate money or phones. Alright, cats are cute, but this one is about monkeys. In which month do they prefer to play baseball? Don't even try to find some logic here, it's all in the word itself. It's April, or more like April. Get it? Willie and Billy are twins, and they have the same tastes and like the same things. There's only one thing they don't share, and it's love for cats. By looking at their houses, can you guess which one of them loves cats? Willie has cat toys casually spread on the floor, and the wallpaper at his house is scratched at the bottom of the wall. So he's the cat lover. Lady Martha has a special talent. When people approach her at the fair one by one, she tells each of them something different. She tells the man pizza, the little girl ice cream, and the woman salmon bowl. What is Lady Martha's talent? She can see what other people have just eaten. That's one rare and weird special talent, I must say. Unless they're sloppy and spilled food on their shirts, like I do, then it's easy. All colleagues are bragging about their fun summer vacations. They all show photos and share stories. But one of them is obviously lying about their adventures. Can you guess who? Well, this guy definitely didn't visit Paris this summer. In his photo, the Eiffel Tower is in the middle of the desert, and it's actually in the center of Paris. You've got really bad Photoshop skills, my friend. Brittany checks into a hotel room and falls onto the bed. But suddenly, there's a knock on the door, and a group of clowns with dog balloons breaks in and makes her dance for them. When she sits on the bed, she sighs in relief. What just happened there? It's already light outside, and it was dark when Brittany was checking in. So all this was just a nightmare, although a very realistic one. It's a busy day at the coffee shop. Lucy, the waitress, comes up to one of the tables to pick up the mugs. Moments later, she's calling the police from the kitchen. Why? The girl at the table left a tiny message on the mug with her lipstick, saying SOS. Looks like her date turned out to be a dangerous person. Mrs. Green has a huge house and several helpers. One day, she calls the police and says one of her staff members must have stolen a large sum of money and her jewelry. The suspects are the gardener, the cook, and the laundry lady. Can you tell who stole the valuables? It must have been the laundry lady or someone who wanted to make it look like she did it. Look, there's money and jewelry inside the washing machine. Douglas is interviewing for his dream job. He's already passed a lot of tests, and now it's time for the final decisive challenge. The interviewer asks him to prove that the pen on the table doesn't exist, and he does it with just one question. But how? He asked the interviewer, "Excuse me, which pen are you talking about?" It's raining so hard that no one can see anything, and all traffic is stuck. Lightning flashes in the black sky, and people are running to safety. Everyone is soaked, but one man is lucky. Not a single hair on his head got wet. How is this possible? Well, the man is bald, so he has no hair on his head. You wake up inside a plane from a super loud engine. You don't remember getting in and don't know what's going on. You get up from your chair and notice there's no one else on the plane. You walk forward, look into the cockpit, and the pilots aren't there either. You decide to leave, open the emergency exit, and jump out of the plane. You land on the asphalt unharmed. How is this possible? Well, the plane wasn't flying anywhere. It was standing on the ground this whole time. Nina is taking exams to study at the most prestigious cooking school in the world. The final question is, what product will never be salty when you boil it, no matter how much salt you add? Please help Nina pass this uneasy exam. Well, it's an egg in the shell. No matter how much salt there is in the water, the boiled egg won't be salty. Someone locked 10 people in one room. A mechanical voice from the outside says that to get out of the room, you have to place an apple in such a way that everyone but one person can see it. Do you have any ideas how to do it? Put the apple on the head of one of the people, and it's done. Stacy loves traveling. Today she's flying to a new destination. There are just 3 flights in the next hour. One to Berlin, another one to Rome, and the third one to London. Can you guess where Stacy is going? She's headed to London. You can see she has a sticker from Berlin and a keychain from Rome on her suitcase, so she has already been to those cities. Wow, if you manage to solve all these riddles, congrats! You can handle any situation with your logic and wits. Katie and Rose live in very similar houses, but one of them clearly needs to move to a safer place for her own good. Can you tell who's in danger here just by looking at their homes? Cleaning cat hair every day isn't that enjoyable, but it's not as dangerous as living with a werewolf. Or whoever scratched that cupboard like that is clearly not a safe neighbor. Minnie is getting married and is choosing a baker to make her wedding cake. Both of these guys clearly excel at what they do, but one of them is definitely dangerous, and Minnie should run for her life. So, which of the bakers should she hire? The first baker's hands and sleeves are covered in something red, and it doesn't look like strawberry jam. Perhaps the previous client left him a really bad review, and that was his way of revenge. Uh-oh. 2 couples are out on a date night. Love is great and all, but one of these dates could end in disaster. Who's in danger here? Now, if you ask me, both of these dates look pretty weird, but the second couple seems to be shopping together, so the girl is just showing that knife to her partner. And the guy in the first picture is clearly hiding that poison, so the girl is at risk. Hey, it's time for a snack, or maybe even a proper lunch. 2 girls are making it, but one of these lunches is definitely not safe to eat. Can you figure out which one? Well, I'm not a big fan of cabbage, but it's surely better than the soup the girl on the right is making. That bag in the back clearly had blood in it, and now there's something red in the pot. I'll skip lunch, I guess. 3 guys are taking part in a TV show where they have to enter rooms with all sorts of dangers waiting inside. One of the dangers is not that horrible though. So who got lucky here? The gas and the bees are totally terrible, but the mice, not the most pleasant pastime, but they are more curious than dangerous. So that guy got lucky with them. A couple is choosing the perfect hotel for their summer vacation. They looked at tons of options on a booking website, and they're down to the final two. One of the hotels looks really unsafe, but which one? Although the second hotel looks more modern and better furnished, there's a creepy reflection in the mirror inside the room. I wouldn't set foot inside that hotel, even if it were for free. Miss Swan wants to open an account at one of the local banks, and she's really concerned with safety. Which of the two banks should she choose to have nothing to worry about? She should definitely not trust the bank in the first picture. Their security cameras have "sample not working" signs on them. So anyone who also sees that can just go inside and rob the bank unnoticed. Erica and her friend Mindy are on vacation. They're choosing extreme activities to pump up their adrenaline levels. Erica is looking into a hot air balloon ride, and Mindy wants to try paragliding. Which of them is about to risk her life? Although paragliding looks way scarier to me, they seem to have no problems with their equipment. And that hot air balloon already has several patches on it and looks a bit deflated. Ben told his grandpa he knew a riddle that no one could solve. Grandpa said if he failed, he'd give Ben $10. The riddle is, I'm tall when I'm young, and I'm short when I'm old. What am I? It's a pencil. The more you use it, the shorter it gets. Grandpa couldn't solve the first riddle, but he wanted to win his money back. So Ben suggested that he try his luck with another riddle, which would be even trickier. I'm full of holes, but still hold water. What am I? It's a sponge. And this time, Grandpa solved the riddle and got his $10 back. Yay! Now, let's try a math one for a change. How tall do you think one glass is? It would be logical to divide 34 by 4 to figure out the height, but the glasses are stacked on top of one another, so it won't help. 34 minus 19 is 15, so one glass that's sticking out is 5 centimeters. 19 minus 5 is 14. To celebrate her birthday, Ashley wants to go to the movies. She has 2 friends whom she wants to take with her. A movie ticket costs $12. What is cheaper, going to the movies with each friend separately or with the 2 of them together? Of course, it's cheaper to go with the 2 of them together. If she goes there 2 times, separately with each friend, she'll have to buy a ticket for herself twice. So she'll end up buying 4 tickets. But if they go together, she'll only have to buy 3 tickets. Mike is going by train to see the love of his life, for now, Louise. The train is 400 feet long. It's moving at a speed of 400 feet a minute, and it's now traveling through a 400-foot-long tunnel. How long will it take for the train to go through the tunnel? When the train goes into the tunnel, it will take exactly 1 minute for its head to reappear on the other side. Once the head of the train is out, the back of the train just entered the tunnel, and it'll need another minute to travel through the tunnel. So the train will need 2 minutes in total. Brittany has a huge vinyl collection, 151 records. But then she needed some cash, so she decided to sell all of her records, except for 3 of her favorite singers and 9 of her favorite bands. How many vinyl records does Brittany have now? If she gave up all but 3 plus 9, it leaves her with 12 records. A fire just broke out in an old mansion full of valuables. There are really expensive and rare paintings in the living room. The library is full of books that are several centuries old. The closet has designer clothes that are worth millions. Which room will the police officers try to extinguish first? None. Policemen don't fight fire. That's the job of firefighters. You didn't fall for that, did you? Good. Sheila lives in an apartment building. She returns home from work, but she can't get inside because someone changed the password for the combination lock on the door. Can you help her get inside? There's a hint on this piece of paper. You need to move all the digits exactly one position back, and that's how we get the code 4327. Tiffany wants to order watermelon juice at the new restaurant and asks the waiter if it's fresh. He tells her the chef personally climbed a tree in the morning and picked the best watermelon to make the juice. Tiffany knows he's lying and decided not to order that juice. Why? Well, watermelons don't grow on trees, so the whole story seems made up. Jim moves into his first adult apartment. His parents helped him pay a huge deposit for it on one condition: he would live there alone. When his mom comes to visit him a week later, she looks around and says they want their money back. Why? She must have noticed the second pair of slippers, the second toothbrush, and that bathrobe that says Whitney. Diana is a jewelry designer. She decided to present her summer-themed collection at a private beach party. While everyone was waiting for her to start, one of the guests stole the ring with the biggest gem. Can you guess who did it? We can see footprints on the sand leading to where the ring was. It looks like someone wearing sneakers left them. All the guests but one are wearing heels. So it must be this girl in sneakers.
Driving through the country to visit their family. One day, late at night, they were on a lonely country road. That's when a powerful storm broke, and their car tire burst. They had to leave the vehicle to find help, but there was nothing, and no one around. Sometime later, they came across an old and spooky mansion that seemed abandoned, but the guys decided to try and see if anyone lived there and could help them. They arrived at the mansion gate. On a metal address plaque, it was written, "The House of Riddles." Gemma and Andy got suspicious, but they desperately needed shelter from the storm and some help with their car. So they decided to enter. But the gate was locked. There was a digital security keypad on it and nothing else. Suddenly, they heard a sound coming from the gate intercom. A voice said,
"The answer to this riddle of mine is the password you need to unlock the gate. I sleep by day and fly at night, but I have no feathers to aid my flight. What am I?"
"That's a bat." When the guys arrived at the door, they saw there was something engraved on it. "Stop right there, wanderer. Don't knock on the door just yet. For if you knock more or fewer times than you should, that you're gonna regret. Here's your second riddle. I am an odd number, but I become even if you take away a letter. What am I?" Gemma and Andy realized that the number equaled the number of times they had to knock on the door for it to open. Can you help them figure out the correct number? The answer is 7, so they had to knock on the door 7 times. A scary old butler opened the door and let the guys in. The door suddenly closed behind their backs and then just vanished into thin air. There were no doors in the room they had entered. The butler said, "Welcome, mortals, to your doom. To make it out of this house, you have to solve every riddle in every room. If you can't, you'll stay in this place forever. Here's your riddle for this room. Which bride is marrying this groom?" If they managed to figure out the answer, a door would appear. If they could not, well, too bad. Do you see the shadows behind them? The third bride's shadow is holding hands with the groom's shadow. They're in love, so she must be his chosen one. After they answered the riddle correctly, a door appeared in front of them. They got into the next room, which was a library. 3 books fell from a bookcase in front of their feet. Then they heard the butler's voice echoing. "You have to open one of these books, but choose wisely, because whatever creature the book mentions, it will appear here." If Gemma and Andy opened the first book, a venomous basilisk would come out. If they opened the second book, a giant piranha monster with razor-sharp teeth would appear in the library. If they opened the third book, a fire-breathing dragon would charge at them. Which book should they choose? Since the giant piranha is a water creature, it can't survive on land, so the guys should choose the second book. The library door opened, and they walked into the next room. It turned out to be a dining room. A large mirror covered one of its walls. Yet, the reflection of the room in the mirror had some differences from the real room. Can you spot them? The reflection of the deer statue in the mirror has more antlers. In the reflection, you can see someone hiding behind the curtains. But there's no one besides Gemma and Andy in the room. And lastly, in the mirror, one of the plates on the table is different from the others. But in the real dining room, all the plates are the same. Gemma and Andy felt very hungry. Thankfully, the next door that opened led them to the kitchen. There were 3 different chefs inside. The first chef was a zombie, the second one was a vampire, and the third chef was human. Each of them was holding a pie in their hands, but only one pie was safe to eat. Which one? Do you see the bugs coming out of the zombie chef's pie? Yikes! The pie that the human chef is holding is glowing in a weird way. Looks dangerous to me. So, they should choose the vampire chef's pie. Because that's not blood, that's cherry sauce on top. If it was blood, the vampire would have already eaten that. After they answered the riddle, 2 doors appeared in front of them. One of them had Gemma's name on it, and the other had Andy's. The butler sneaked behind the guys and pushed Gemma through the Gemma door, and Andy through the Andy door. Gemma fell down a pit and found herself in a mysterious garden. She accidentally woke a garden gnome who had been sleeping. He got very angry with her, and still, he agreed to let Gemma go if she answered his question correctly. He showed Gemma 3 tiny mushroom houses and asked which one was his home. Can you figure it out? Do you see the flower on the gnome's hat? The door handle of the second mushroom house handle is the same flower, so that must be his home. Andy, on the other hand, fell into a magical dungeon. The dungeon guard was an ogre, and he looked very pleased to finally have a prisoner. Yet he agreed to let Andy go if the guy chose the correct magical portal to escape. 2 magical portals appeared in front of him. Each of them led to a room. Andy had to stay inside the room of his choice for 5 minutes. The first room was full of poisonous gas that would knock him out in 4 minutes, and the second room was filled with water. If Andy opted for this room, he would have to be chained to the floor with the water rising really fast. In which room can the guy survive? Andy should choose the first room. He should take a breath and try not to breathe for a minute. After that, he'll have to wait for 4 minutes for the door to open, and then he can escape. Both Gemma and Andy were magically transported to the hallway after having answered their riddles correctly. They were happy to be together again. At the end of the hallway, there was a door, and in front of the door, a witch stood. She placed 3 long magic wands on the table in front of her and said,
You do not need to do anything to one of these wands. One you must break in half, and one needs to be even shorter than that half.
The witch added that they could only answer once, and if their answer was wrong, she wouldn't open the door. So, can you tell which wand should be the longest, which one they need to break into half, and which one needs to be the shortest? Do you see those spiders hanging from the ceiling? Since the door is shaped like a spider, they must be giving Gemma and Andy a hint. The silk thread that the first spider is hanging on is the shortest, so the first wand needs to be the shortest. The silk thread that the second spider is hanging on is the longest, which means that the second wand needs to remain as it is. And the silk thread that the third spider is hanging on is of a medium length, which means that the guys need to break the third wand in half. The witch opened the door and Gemma and Andy entered a bedroom. 3 spirits were floating inside. Each of them claimed to be the owner of the mansion. Gemma knew only one of them was telling the truth. Who is it? The spirit of the elderly lady is telling the truth. Why? Let's rewind a bit. Did you notice the portraits hanging on the walls in the hallway? There's a portrait of this very lady. That can only mean she used to be one of the owners of the mansion. The next stop was a living room. When they walked in, Andy saw something weird. What was it? A face appears and disappears in the fireplace. The guys entered a study next. What's so weird here? The fingers of this medieval knight's armor are tapping on the sword. The next room was a guest bedroom. What's weird here? The crystal ball is showing someone trapped in the basement. Gemma and Andy decided to take a look at the basement in case someone really needed help. Yet they had to crack another riddle to enter. There was a password panel, and they needed to type in 7 digits to unlock the door. They had no idea what the passcode could be. Luckily, there was a note on the wall, and this word was written on it. What does it even mean? Turn the note upside down. What do you see now? The letters look like numbers, right? So the passcode is 1837837. There were 3 people in the basement who claimed to be trapped there, but only one of them was telling the truth. Who is that? Do you see the stitches on the elbows of this lady? She's a creepy rag doll, so she's lying. And this man has claws instead of fingers. He must be a shapeshifter or something. Then it must be this guy who's telling the truth, so Gemma and Andy took him with them. After the guys answered every riddle in every room correctly, the butler appeared again. "Thank you, travelers, now you're free to go, but this you must know. All of us in this house are cursed. Answer this one last riddle for the curse to be reversed. Once we are finally free, we'll help you with your car too. You'll see. There are 9 people in front of you. One of them is a monster who cursed us. Tell us who." This guy has 2 horns that are hiding in his hair. He is not a human. He's a monster.
Alrighty, here's the new portion of mind-bending riddles for you, quick-witted detective. Find that magnifying glass of yours, and let's get to work.
Yeah.
Tom disappeared at 10 p.m. on Friday in the fall. A police officer questioned his 4 friends. She suspected one of them had something to do with this disappearance. She asked them all what they had been doing at the time. Adam said he had been choosing an outfit for a date. Daniel was getting ready for a party, which was to take place at his apartment. Sophia said she had been relaxing by doing yoga before her night shift at work. And Jake was watching birds in the park. After questioning the suspects, the police officer arrested one of Tom's friends. Who was it? It was Jake. At 10 p.m. in the fall, it's too dark to see birds outside. Imagine being stuck in Antarctica. You're starting to run out of food, so you decide to scan your surroundings. The snow is so bright, it's literally blinding. At one point, you come across a large fragment of bone with a wide crack enough to fit a knife. You think the bone might come in handy later and take it with you. What's the best way to use it? Crack it and use it as your second knife? Make an eyewear mask? Make a flute to distract yourself from this dire situation? You should choose the second option. An eyewear mask can protect you from a big problem: snow blindness. Sunlight is reflected off the snow and ice in Antarctica and is likely to cause serious eye problems. Okay, this time you're trapped in a large abandoned castle. The lights are out and there seems to be nobody around. You see 3 doors leading out of the creepy castle to safety. But behind the first door, there's a room filled with venomous snakes and spiders. Behind the second door, there's a sheer drop with sharp spikes at the bottom. And the third door opens to an electrified moat. Which door will you risk going through? Surprisingly, the safest option is the third door. You see, the castle is abandoned, and since nobody has lived there for years, there isn't likely to be electricity. The likelihood of the moat still being electrified is very, very small. You'll be able to swim across the moat safely. Let's say that in some mysterious way, you find yourself in a battle arena. 3 creatures are waiting for you, and you need to fight one of them to survive. The first monster has the head of a rattlesnake and the body of a giant ferret. The second one has the body of a gorilla and the head of an alligator. And the third creature has the face and body of a great white shark and the tail and claws of a bear. So, which monster would you choose? The first 2 monsters would be extremely dangerous opponents. Imagine how agile and venomous the snake ferret could be. And the gorilla gator would be too strong for you to defeat. As for the shark bear, you know that sharks have gills and can't breathe on land. So you just need to wait a bit, and this opponent would get out of your way on its own. Imagine a robber is trying to enter your house. You can only defend yourself through the letterbox in your door while they're trying to sneak a peek inside your house. What kind of defense would you choose? A tarantula and a 4-foot-long stick? A 3-foot-long bamboo pole and some frozen peas? Or a leaf blower, elastic band, empty paper roll, and several dozen fire ants? The problem with the stick is that it's too short, and there's a chance that the tarantula will get back to you. Uh-oh. Sending frozen peas into the robber's face probably won't be enough to stop the criminal. So, pick the third option. The leaf blower will send the ants into the thief's face through the paper roll, and it will most likely scare the criminal away. How about this mystery? A girl was 10 on her last birthday. but she will be 12 on her next birthday. How is it possible? Well, the girl is celebrating her 11th birthday today. At school, in one of the classes, there were 4 pairs of twins. One day, all the students came to a school event with their parents, and it turned out that there were 85 people in total. Can you figure out how many students there are in the class? Since each pair of twins most likely have different parents, 4 pairs of twins and their parents make up 16 people. The remaining 69 people are ordinary students and their parents. Each of the non-twin students has 2 parents, so the number of non-twin students is 23. So in total, there are 31 students in the class. Stephen called the police to report his valuables were missing. When the police arrived, the man told him his story. "I went on a camping trip alone. I just got there and set up my tent when it started to rain heavily. I hurried to find some dry firewood. I left my bag with my wallet and all the documents inside the tent. When I came back, everything was gone." The police officers didn't believe Stephen and fined him for making a false call. How did they understand the man was lying? Stephen said he had set up the tent before it started to rain. But then, why is there a big puddle inside? Two friends, Anne and Mary, went for a walk. Suddenly, it started to rain heavily. The girls saw a seemingly abandoned house and decided to take shelter there. When it stopped raining, the friends realized they were very hungry. So they went different ways to find some food. Anne saw an apple tree and immediately ate an apple. All of a sudden, she turned into a tree herself. Half an hour later, Mary got to the same spot, searching for fruit and her friend. That's when she heard someone say, "Your friend has been turned into a tree. You must find this tree to bring her back. You only have one chance. If you get it wrong, your friend will remain a tree forever." Mary was terrified. Can you help her find out which tree is her friend? To crack this riddle, you need to think outside the box. Since it rained half an hour ago, all the trees in the forest are wet. The only tree that isn't wet is Mary's friend Anne. Now, you need to figure out the logic in the order of the following words: fun, blue, bee, more, dive, picks, barren, date, shrine, then. Actually, it's not hard at all as soon as you say these words out loud one by one. You'll immediately notice that every word rhymes with the number that specifies its numerical order. Fun 1, blue 2, bee 3, and so on. On a beautiful sunny morning, a vampire woke up pretty early and went to the bathroom to shave. He was in the middle of the process when he noticed in the mirror that he had cut himself. He had to go and look for his first aid kit. What's wrong with this story? Well, the main problem is that vampires don't reflect in mirrors. Look at this picture closely. Can you guess who this cute puppy belongs to? A little hint. Pay attention to all the details. You never know what can help you. The dog's owner is the boy in the middle. He's the only one who isn't trying to pet the puppy. And now, can you figure out what's wrong in this picture? Once again, pay attention to the tiniest details. Tick-tock, your time is running out. The wrong detail in this picture is this colorful parrot. How did the bird get there? Parrots aren't known for their love of winter. Three friends, Jim, Alex, and Chris, pick hats from a box. In the box, there are 2 black hats and 1 white hat. Jim sees the hats on Alex and Chris. Alex only sees Chris's hat, and Chris can't see any hats. When asked if they know the colors of their hats, Jim and Alex both say no. Chris confidently says that he knows his hat is black. How has he figured it out? Here's how it works. Jim's no means there's at least 1 black hat between Alex and Chris. Alex says no too, indicating that he sees a black hat on Chris. If it was white, Alex would know he's wearing the black since there's only 1 white hat. So Chris is sure that his hat is black. No magic or tricks, just logic. Detective Sue finds herself entangled in a case involving the theft of precious diamonds from a vault fortified with high-security measures. The list of suspects is diverse. There's a janitor, a security guard, even the CEO. Who is the thief? The thief is the janitor. Even in a high-security vault, the diamonds should still remain dust-free. The janitor's role involves cleaning them, so he had access to the jewels. On a chilly, wintry day, a figure stood in the center of someone's front yard. This individual remained in place for several weeks without any movement, and the yard's owner didn't mind it. Eventually, this person was gone. Who was he? It was a snowman. Meet Vampire Vlad. He invites his close nocturnal friends for a one-of-a-kind dinner gathering. Interestingly, the dinner party takes place during the daytime. All of his vampire companions accept the invitation without questioning it, and they arrive without encountering any problems. How on earth is this possible? Well, it turns out Vlad is the master of planning. He chose to host his vampire friends during a solar eclipse. Vampire Vlad has another story to puzzle you. One day, he found himself on a remote island. There seemed to be no humans there. To his relief, he stumbled upon a thriving garden filled with garlic. Vlad smiled with contentment. Garlic is dangerous for vampires. Then why did he laugh? That garlic garden implied the presence of a skilled gardener on the island. There was a human somewhere around. This discovery kindled Vlad's hope of a future food source. Here's the last one of the vampire-themed puzzles. In a quaint village, 3 individuals cast shadows, but one claims to be a vampire. The townsfolk wonder which of these 3 is the true vampire. Well, who is the vampire? The vampire is the one whose shadow behaves weirdly. While regular human shadows mimic people's movements, the vampire's shadow moves independently. Look, the human shadows synchronize with their steps, but the vampire shadow has a mind of its own. Steve met a tragic fate on a Saturday afternoon. His wife claims she was in the shower at that time. The chef says he was making breakfast, and the gardener was busy pruning hedges. Who is the likely criminal? It's the chef. The whole thing happened in the afternoon, but the chef said that he had been making breakfast. At a carnival, a boy made a bet with a man. The man said he could write the boy's exact weight on a piece of paper. If he succeeded, the boy would give him $50. If not, the boy would get $50. The boy thought he could always say he weighed more or less, so he agreed. However, in the end, the boy had to pay the man $50. How did the man win? The man wrote "your exact weight" on the paper, and that was exactly what he said he would do. A person finds themselves confined in a room with two possible escape routes. The initial exit is an arrangement of magnifying glasses that scorch anything passing through, because the sun is scorching. The second exit is guarded by a fire-spewing dragon, which is merciless to intruders. How can the captive make their escape? They should wait until nightfall when the sun is down and then make a dash through the first exit. A criminal has been sentenced to face a fatal fate, and he is given a choice to meet his end in one of three rooms: a room engulfed in a blazing fire, a room occupied by assassins, or a room inhabited by lions that haven't eaten a meal in years. Which room should he select? He should opt for the room with the lions. If they haven't eaten in years, they aren't alive anymore. Once, a magician bragged about being able to hold his breath underwater for 6 minutes. A kid overheard this and exclaimed, "And I can do 10 minutes with no gear." The magician bet $10,000. Oddly, the kid won. Do you know how? She was just holding a glass of water above her head for 10 minutes. A monkey, a squirrel, and a bird are having a race to the tip of a ginormous coconut tree, all of them eyeing a delicious banana at the top. Who's going to be the lucky winner here? The monkey, the squirrel, or the bird? Oh please, the answer is none of them, because bananas don't grow on coconut trees. There are 5 apples in a basket and 5 people in the room. Each person takes 1 apple. Yet in the end, 1 apple is left in the basket. How come? The last person took an apple together with the basket. There's a person who lives on the 14th floor of a building. When they take the elevator downstairs, they stop at the first floor. When they go upstairs, they only go to the 10th floor. And after that, they use the stairs the rest of the way. But here's the twist. When they're in the elevator with someone else, or when it's raining, they go straight to the 14th floor. So what's the deal with this weird behavior? This person is a child. They can't reach the 14th floor button. When it's raining, this kid has an umbrella and can use it to press the button. And when they're with someone else, this other person can press the button for them. A driver goes the wrong way on a one-way street, but when he passes a few cops, they don't stop him. Why? Because he's walking, not driving. Two fathers and two sons go to the mall and then return home in a car. However, when they get out of the car at home, only 3 people exit. How is it possible? Did they forget someone at the mall? Well, it's because we've got 3 generations here: a grandfather, a father, and a son. So even though there are 2 fathers and 2 sons, there are only 3 individuals. A couple went on a 3-week-long vacation, taking great care to secure their home and asking a neighbor to look after it during their absence. Upon their return, the wife discovered that her valuable jewelry was gone. How did it happen? She had hidden her precious jewelry inside the freezer in a bag with frozen food. But during their absence, there was a power outage. The frozen food went bad, and the neighbor, trying to be helpful, threw away the spoiled food. Bye-bye, jewelry. Imagine finding yourself in a pitch-black room. You have just a matchbox, a candle, and a lamp. You have only one match. The question is, what should you light first? Easy peasy. You light the match first. Think of an 8-letter word that remains a valid word even when you remove 1 letter at a time until only 1 letter is left. It's almost impossible to guess, but give it a try. The word is starting. You can take away letters one by one like this: starting, staring, string, sting, sing, sin, in, and finally I. Did you find those tough? Let me know in the comments.
Sir Lionel was a very rich man with many servants working in his mansion. One day, as he was about to go on a business trip, his night watchman warned him not to board his flight.
"I had a dream last night that something bad will happen on that plane."
Sir Lionel got annoyed at first, but since he was also a bit superstitious himself, he decided not to take the flight. Later that day, as he was watching the news, he saw that his plane did get lost on a deserted island. He first thanked his employee and then fired him. Why? Because as a night watchman, he's not supposed to be sleeping on the job. Eduardo was walking to his home late at night when he suddenly heard an evil laugh and was magically transported to a peculiar reality show as a contestant. The evil presenter showed him 3 doors. Behind the first door, there was a room filled with venomous spiders. The second door opened to a chamber containing toxic gas. The third door revealed a space with the floor covered in sharp shards of glass. In which room will he have a better chance to survive? He should pick the room with the floor covered in shards of glass. See? He has his boots on. Those can protect him from getting hurt. Late at night, Detective Forsyth was patrolling a quiet neighborhood when he heard a scream coming from one of the houses. Rushing to the scene, he found a group of friends gathered, and one of them, Manny, claimed he had just seen a ghost in the backyard. Forsyth questioned each friend to determine the truth. Lola said she had been reading a book in the living room. Joyce claimed she had been cooking in the kitchen. Emily mentioned she had been taking a nap in the bedroom. And Manny, the one who saw the ghost, insisted he had been gardening in the backyard. Detective Forsyth quickly identified the liar. Who was it and why? It was Manny. His claim of gardening in the backyard was false because it was late at night. And if you take a closer look, there are no garden lights to illuminate the area. So, no one would be gardening in the dark. You are listening to your favorite radio program, I'm a Survivor, in which one of the listeners who participates in the weekly questions gets a chance to win $5,000. This week, you finally decided to try your chance. So, you call the program and the host gives you your question. In which situation do you have more chances to survive? If you're falling from a 10-story building, or if you find yourself surrounded by a swarm of bees. Can you win the $5,000? The bees buzzing around you might not be aggressive and might not cause you any harm. But when you're falling from that kind of height, unless you're Spider-Man or something. Professor Orion was an eccentric scientist who had a collection of enchanted doors in his laboratory. Each door led to a different dimension. He wanted to invite his friend, Beth, to his laboratory, but first, he needed to make sure she was worthy of exploring the realms beyond with him. So, he asked her this riddle. I fly without wings, I cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness follows me. What am I? Do you know the answer? The correct answer is cloud. Jason was about to graduate, but his fate was going to be determined by whether or not he could pass his algebra test. When he got his exam paper, this was the only question his professor asked. If it takes 30 men 30 minutes to dig 30 holes, how many minutes does it take one man to dig one hole? Can you help Jason graduate? It takes one man 30 minutes to dig one hole. Rose bought an old mirror from the antique store. But when she brought it home, the mirror pulled her inside and transported her into a magical castle with no escape. After checking every room to find an exit, Rose discovered 3 doors in the dungeon that could help her go back home. However, behind the first door, there was a raging fire. Behind the second door, there were thousands of venomous scorpions. And behind the third door, there was a pitch-dark maze filled with underground holes one could easily fall into. Which door should Rose choose? She should choose the third door. See the wood branches on the floor? She can take one and turn it into a torch and go through the maze. This way she can see the holes and avoid them. In the town of Puzzleville, Master Albert held an annual event known as the Night of Riddles. Every year, when the clock struck midnight, he asked the crowd one particular riddle, and the one who could answer it correctly would be crowned the Riddler's Apprentice. This year, he asked, what is the one question you cannot truthfully answer yes to? Can you answer it and win that title? The answer is, are you asleep yet? As Nicole was driving across a road at night, her phone's battery ran out. Unfortunately, she forgot to take her charger with her and there was nowhere she could get a new one. So she got lost without being able to use the Maps app. The road in front of her split up into 3 smaller roads, and there was a sign at each of them. The first sign said, Toxic Swamp ahead. The second sign said, Werewolves ahead. And the third one said, Active Volcano ahead. Which one should she pick? It might be a cloudy night, but you can still catch a glimpse of the moon, which is not full. So she should pick the second route, since werewolves won't be there during this time of the month at least. In the futuristic city of Cyber Harbor, people communicate through holographic messages. Xander received a hologram from an anonymous sender with a cryptic riddle. Only if he could answer the riddle correctly that the sender's identity would be revealed to him. What is always in front of you but can't be seen? Can you help Xander discover the true identity of the sender? The answer is the future. Ernest and William are two logicians. They both pick a whole number from 1 to 30 inclusive. The following conversation occurs between them. Ernest: is your number double mine? William: I don't know. Is your number double mine? Ernest: I don't know. Is your number half mine? William: I don't know. Is your number half mine? Ernest: I don't know. William: I know your number. Considering all the statements are true, what is the number Ernest picked, and how did William know? The correct answer is 4. From their first exchange, we know that William's number is even. Otherwise, he would have known that it couldn't be the double of a number. From the second exchange, we know that Ernest's number is a multiple of 4. Otherwise, he would know that it couldn't be the double of an even number. From the third exchange, we know that William's number is 14 or less. Otherwise, he would know that it couldn't be half of the largest possible multiple of 4. From the fourth exchange, we know that Ernest's number must be 4. Otherwise, if it were 8 or more, he would know it couldn't be half of a number that's 14 or less. And the only possible multiple of 4 that's less than 8 is 4. Andy and Bernie were trapped on an island, surrounded by swift currents. Luckily, they heard the thrum of a helicopter, but before it passed them by, they needed to attract the pilot's attention to save themselves. They had to use mirrors or flashlights. Just as they were losing hope, Bernie had a brilliant idea. Soon after, the helicopter spotted them and rescued them. How did Bernie do it? Look at all the tropical, large, colorful leaves and flowers around. He used them to create a makeshift SOS sign on the ground. Audrey lives alone in a condo in Boston. She wakes up in the middle of the night because of the loud music coming from one of her neighbor's apartments. She doesn't know exactly which apartment it comes from. So the next morning, Audrey asks her 3 neighbors what they were doing the night before. Molly says, "I've been playing video games in my headphones all night long, so I didn't hear anything." Peter says, "I was on a plane getting back from Paris. I just returned home a couple of minutes ago after 2 months in France." And Nina says, "I was sleeping after a long shift at work." After hearing their stories, Audrey knows for sure who's a liar. What about you? It's Peter. He said he just returned from France, but look at his table. There are fresh apples lying there. If he had been gone for a month, they would have been rotten by now. Audrey checked her mailbox. Oh no! Bad news! The building where she rents her apartment is about to be demolished. She has only a week to find a new place and move out. Audrey starts searching online, but unfortunately, she forgot the password for her rental website account. She only remembers that this word is a tasty and sweet fruit that can give you a lot of energy. And you can also find it in your calendar. Can you crack the code? The correct password is date.
Yes!
Audrey logs in and scrolls through a bunch of rental listings. Finally, she finds 3 options. Can you help her choose the best apartment? According to the description, the first apartment was built in 1023. Wow, it must be very ancient. Boston didn't even exist then. It's probably a scam. Take a closer look at the couch in the third apartment. Can you see bed bugs? Ew! These nasty guys are not the best roommates. So, Audrey should pick the second apartment.
Okay.
Audrey books this new apartment, but unfortunately, she doesn't have enough savings to provide the requested deposit. She decides to take part in a game show. The winner will get $50,000. Audrey is doing pretty well, and finally, it's time for the last task. Audrey has to put her head in one of these 3 boxes. There are sparking electrical wires in the first one. There's a Venus flytrap in the second box. It's a carnivorous plant. And there are dozens of venomous scorpions in the third box. Can you help Audrey win the prize and stay safe? Audrey should choose the second box. Venus flytraps aren't dangerous for people, only for flies. Yay! Audrey wins the money. Now it's time to pack her boxes and move. Can you spot 3 emojis among her stuff? Here they are. Audrey goes to her favorite coffee shop to have a break. Let's see if you can find 3 emojis in this location. Hello? Audrey is exploring her new neighborhood. Suddenly, she sees something curious. It always runs, but it never walks. What is it? It's a river. David is Audrey's new neighbor. He agrees to help her move. But first, they need to pick up David's son from college. On their way there, David gets an idea. How about a bet? I'll give you my super expensive carpet if you manage to figure out which student is my son.
Okay.
Audrey agrees. They arrive at the college and see 3 guys waiting at the gates. They all look similar. Can you spot David's son? It's the student on the left. David has the letter L tattooed on his wrist, and the guy is wearing a bracelet with the same letter. Audrey wants to sell her old sofa. She finds 3 potential buyers online. The first one writes, "Hi, I'm Jessica. I'll buy your sofa and remove it tomorrow morning. But first, I'm going to need your phone number and to make sure you're not a scammer." The second one writes, "Hi, I'm Mike. Nice sofa, but the price is a bit higher than I was hoping. Can you make a $100 discount?" And Sheila says, "This sofa is perfect for my studio, but I'm abroad at the moment. Can we postpone the delivery for next week?" Can you help Audrey choose the best buyer? The first buyer introduces herself as Jessica, but her username and picture don't really match. Moreover, it's a bad idea to reveal your phone number to strangers online. As for Mike, his proposal to lower the price is ridiculous because Audrey is selling the sofa for $100 only. Thus, Sheila is the best choice.
Ooh.
The next morning, Audrey wakes up in her new apartment. The boxes are still unpacked, but Audrey wants to brew some coffee. Her coffee machine is in one of these 3 boxes. The note on the first box says that the coffee machine isn't in box 2. The note on the second box says the machine is in box 1 or 3. And the note on the third box says that the coffee machine isn't here. Can you help Audrey choose the right box? If the coffee machine isn't in the second box, it's either in the first or the third box. But the note on box 3 says the machine isn't there, so it must be in the first box. And now Audrey's task is to find one important thing. It has one eye but still cannot see. What is it? It's a needle. Here's what Audrey is looking for now. It's a protector and it sits on a bridge. One individual can see directly through it while others wonder what it hides. What is she looking for? Sunglasses. We meant the nasal bridge. Can you spot 3 emojis in Audrey's kitchen? Here they are. Audrey goes to the laundry room in the basement of the building. She gets lost and comes across 3 doors leading outside the trap. Behind the first door, there's a room full of poisonous bees that could make people lose their mind. Behind the second door, there's a room without oxygen. And there's a room full of unfriendly monsters behind the third door. Which way is more or less safe? The room without oxygen seems the most promising option. Audrey can hold her breath and quickly walk through the room. Audrey is about to leave the basement, but she comes across an anxious neighbor who says, "I just saw a crocodile and it ran into the boiler room." Audrey goes there to check, but nobody's there. How did the croc escape? This way. Audrey returns to her place. She scrolls her feed and sees these 2 photos. One of these ladies is a robot. Can you guess who? This lady on the left has an engine oil canister in the bathroom, but it doesn't prove that she's a robot. Meanwhile, the person in the toilet stall has strange wires in unexpected places, so she's the robot. Audrey goes to the furniture store. There, she sees a group of customers, but it's not that simple. One of them is a werewolf. Can you guess who? It's the third lady. Her claws pierced her gloves. She's transforming into a werewolf. Audrey goes to the local food court and purchases a cup of coffee and a strawberry donut. She leaves a tray with her order on a table and leaves for a moment to tip the waiter. Then she returns to find out that her food is gone. Audrey questions 3 people standing nearby. The cleaner says, "I was about to throw away your tray, but then I noticed that the food was untouched, so I left it alone." The manager says,
"Sorry, miss. It's not my job to guard the tables."
and a customer sitting next to Audrey says, "Ew, gross. I would never touch someone else's food. What if you're sick?" Who's lying? The manager. You can see donut sprinkles on his face. Busted! It's a beautiful morning. Megan wants to have a quick breakfast before work, but she only has 3 identical apples. Only one of them is safe to eat, while the other 2 are poisoned. Can you help her choose the best option? The second apple has a caterpillar in it, which means that there's no poison in the fruit, so it's safe to eat. Megan is riding her motorbike to work as usual. She drives around the same corner at a certain speed every day, regardless of whether it's rainy or sunny. However, if it's cloudy but not rainy, Megan usually goes faster. Why? There's a car wash on that corner. On rainy days, wet roads reduce traction. On sunny days, water from the car wash makes the road wet and causes the same effect. But if the weather forecast says there's a chance of rain, the car wash gets few clients and thus the road stays dry. That's why Megan passes the area faster. Megan is sitting in her office. Suddenly, a delivery guy enters the room holding a cardboard box. He sits down near Megan. Although she can't see, hear, or smell the contents of this box, she knows for sure what's there. How? Megan is allergic to cats. She began to experience the symptoms of her allergy. Megan is looking out of the office window. She sees a pile of pebbles, a carrot, and a pipe laying together in the middle of a garden. Any idea what happened here? Megan saw the remains of a melted snowman. Megan's boyfriend Stan sends her a selfie. She immediately realizes that he cheated. How did she know? Take a look at the background. There's someone's lipstick on the dresser. The lipstick probably doesn't belong to Megan. That's why she suspects that another woman has been visiting Stan's apartment. Megan goes to the office kitchen and finds two identical lunchboxes in the fridge. Can you find 3 differences between them? Here they are. Megan's coworker Sarah claims that one of the lunchboxes belongs to her. Can you guess which one? The lid of the first lunchbox has a nail polish scratch on it. The color of the nail polish matches Megan's purple nails perfectly. Therefore, the second box must belong to Sarah. Megan's task is to find a rental beach house for her boss. She finds 3 available options. Can you help Megan choose the best one? According to the info box, the first house will be completed in 100 years, so it's probably a scam. The second house should have 4 floors, but it only has 2 according to the picture. Therefore, Megan should pick the third option. After work, Megan goes to a hairdresser. A group of clients is waiting in the lobby, but it's not that simple. One of them is not from this planet. Can you guess who? It's the First Lady. An Earthling would hardly drink shampoo. Megan asks her hairdresser to dye her hair red. They apply the hair dye, wait a precise amount of time, and then wash it off. Oh no! Megan's hair is green! She interrogates 3 suspects. The hairdresser says, "Honey, I have no idea what happened. I did everything according to instructions." The cleaning lady says, "I didn't approach your hair dye. I'm allergic to all sorts of hair products." And the manager says, "I'm so sorry, miss. Someone must have confused the packages with hair dye." Who's lying? The cleaning lady. She would hardly be able to work in a beauty salon if she really had allergies to all sorts of hair products. Megan is meeting her friend at a new nightclub. She enters the building and gets lost in the basement. Megan faces 3 doors leading outside this trap. Behind the first door, there's a bunch of gross snakes. Although they all look the same, some of them are venomous and some of them are not. Behind the second door, there's an ancient magic box. Anyone who dares open this box will be cursed. And there's a tunnel full of hungry guard dogs behind the third door. Which way is more or less safe? Megan should choose the second option. She can simply walk past the box without opening it and avoid the curse. Luckily, Megan manages to escape and finds the nightclub. The guard at the entrance demands a password. Megan forgot it. She only remembers that it's a 6-number combination. Can you help her crack the code? Take a look at the numbers written on the wall. Megan needs some lateral thinking here. The hint shows 3 4s, 7 1s, and 2 7s. So the code is 3 4 7 1 2 7. Finally, Megan enters the party. She spots a famous influencer among the guests, Rob. Megan approaches and asks for a selfie. He agrees, but in the middle of the photo shoot, Rob suddenly faints. The police figure out that he's been poisoned. They question 3 witnesses. Rob's wife, Ashley, says, "We're both on a juice diet. Rob and I only drank 1 juice all day long. I feel okay. I have no idea what happened to him." Rob's manager, Stella, says,
I only talk to Rob once a day. He borrowed my earbuds because he forgot his own at home.
And Daniel, Rob's brother, says, "Rob couldn't stand the juice diet, so I secretly treated him to some sugar-free organic cookies. I hope it's not my fault." Who poisoned Rob? Stella. There's a bottle of ear poison inside her pocket. She put it on the earbuds. Finally, Megan arrives home. Oh no! Someone stole her favorite antique vase. She calls the police and they question 3 neighbors. Mia says, "I was out of town. I just returned an hour ago and I was so tired after a long drive that I immediately went to bed." Tyler says, "I was getting ready to paint my house, but it didn't seem the rain would stop soon. So I went to the movies instead." Anna says, "My sister got sick. That's why I was busy looking after my little nephew." Who's lying? It was Mia. It's been raining for the whole day. If she'd returned home just an hour ago, the road under her car would be wet. Megan joins the local running marathon. All the participants run the same distance. Each gets ranked according to their own unique result. Megan turns out to be both the 50th fastest and the 50th slowest runner. How many runners are there in the marathon? Even though 100 sounds like a clear-cut answer, it's actually 99. Megan is the 50th in the sequence from 1 to 50 of the fastest runners. If she's the 50th slowest, there has to be 99 runners ranked from 50 to 99. Megan is visiting the world's tallest skyscraper. It took 7 years to build it. Every year, the builders managed to double its height. How many years did it take the skyscraper to reach half its maximum height? Six years. If the constructors doubled the building's height every year, the skyscraper had to be half its final height a year before it was completed.
3 tourists entered an ancient pyramid and found a chamber with an inscription. "What does not honor the pharaoh shall remain here forever." They saw 3 buttons with the following symbols: the sun, a scarab, and an ankh. There was also a warning that only one button opens the passage, and the others trigger dangerous traps. One of the tourists immediately pressed the correct button. Which button was it and why did they choose it? It was the Ankh. In ancient Egypt, it symbolized life, so it's the most logical choice. A golden amulet went missing during an excavation. Anna claimed she spent the day photographing wall paintings. Jack said he'd been studying the treasure map inside the tent. And Lena said she had been sketching outdoors. But the tracks in the sand led from the tent to the pyramid and back, and those were deep, narrow footprints with small heels. Do you know who took the amulet? It was Lena. She was the only one outside, and the small-heeled footprints point to her. An archaeologist descended into a lost Mayan pyramid and discovered 3 ancient masks. Which mask should he choose to find the treasure and stay alive? He should pick the jade mask with the symbols of the storm god. The Mayans trusted him with their gold and secrets. As for the rest of the masks, the golden snake is a symbol of the underworld, and it can lure one to their demise. And the jaguar is associated with aggression and night hunting, so it can lead Nathan to danger. 3 archaeologists, Dr. Laura, Mr. Thomas, and Professor Blake, are exploring a lost Mayan temple. They discover 3 stone tablets with mysterious symbols and inscriptions. Dr. Laura chooses the mirror-shaped symbol. Mr. Thomas touches the carved serpent's eye. Professor Blake steps onto the stone with a crescent moon. Who is in danger? Professor Blake. He stepped on the moon symbol, which warns he won't return. Mr. Thomas awakens the curse, and only Dr. Laura chooses wisely. She unlocks the path to the treasure. Jack finds an ancient Mayan scroll with an engraved message. Where the sun bids farewell to the day, where the river coils like a snake, where moss always hides in the shade, there the pyramid's peak is hidden from view. Jack stands by the river with a dense forest in the north, rocky cliffs and the blazing sun in the south, a clear path in the east, and a river surrounded by trees in the west. Where should Jack go? West. That's where the sun bids farewell, or sets. The river curves like a snake, and the trees provide shade. Alex arrives at a remote jungle village, hoping to find the lost ruins of an ancient Mayan city. 3 people offer to guide him. A pretty woman wants $500. An old man with a donkey wants $50. A cheerful guy in a Hawaiian shirt promises to guide Alex for $300. Only one of these people is a true guide. Can you tell who? The real guide is the old man with the donkey. He asks for a reasonable price. He's not flashy or pushy, and he has a map and a means of transportation. Justin was an archaeologist who explored ancient pyramids. One day, something went wrong, and he ended up locked in a tiny room deep underground. There was only one other door in the room, but it was locked. To open it, the guy had to solve a riddle. After mulling it over for some time, Justin guessed what it meant. Can you? The answer is, try to understand. Once, something went wrong. Yep, again. And he got locked in a tiny room. To open the door, the guy had to solve a riddle and enter the correct 4-digit code. What code should Justin enter? Each digit of the code is the number of letters in the alphabet that stand between the letters in the riddle. So, the code is 5139. There are 3 doors in front of you, with snakes, scorpions, and scarabs behind each of them respectively. You need to choose the safest one. Hopefully you know that scarabs are harmless, so you should pick the 3rd door. One day, Julia fell asleep in the park. She woke up in a strange room with 3 doors. There were random objects lying around: bricks, empty bottles, ropes, and even a barrel. There was also a note on the wall. Behind one of these doors, there's a staircase that leads to freedom. You don't want to know what's lurking behind the other 2 doors. Julia got really frightened, but she managed to get out soon. What did she do? She dragged the barrel toward each of the doors, climbed on it, and checked whether the staircase was there. Once she spotted it, she was free. Look at these people attentively. Who do you think is in greater danger? The lion won't necessarily attack the man, of course, if he doesn't provoke the animal. If the guy tries his best to look unthreatening, the lion might simply ignore him. But the snake can easily tighten its grip, which can end very badly for this girl. Mr. Smart's wife went missing. A detective came to investigate this case. Mr. Smart told her that the last time he'd seen his wife had been in the morning. She was having breakfast. When he returned home at 6 p.m., her breakfast was still on the table, but she had disappeared. After hearing the man's story, the detective immediately arrested Mr. Smart. Why did he do so? When the detective arrived at the Smart's house, the breakfast on the table was still steaming. This means Mr. Smart had set up the scene right before he called the police. Do you see anything suspicious in this room? I'll help you. One object is haunted. A small hint: pay attention to those balloons left after a small party. Have you noticed that the red balloon has a pin in it? But strangely, even pierced, the balloon remains intact, and the air is still inside. It must be the haunted object. Look at these elderly ladies. Both of them have gone out for a walk. At first glance, they seem totally normal, but one of them is actually planning something bad. Can you figure out which granny it is? It's the granny on the right. She's got a file hidden in her knitting basket. A renowned chemist disappeared right from his lab. There was no evidence except a piece of paper lying on his desk. It had the names of 5 elements: nickel, carbon, oxygen, lanthanum, and sulfur. The guard reported that 3 people had visited the chemist that day: his sister Laura, his colleague Nicholas, and his wife Tessa. The criminal was arrested immediately. Who was it? The list of chemicals is a clue. Their abbreviations spell out the name Nicholas.
Uh-oh, Marcus is running late for his plane. At the airport, he rushes to the info screen and gasps. Instead of showing the gate, it just says, "Flight to New York, gate 1 plus 8 divided by 4. Which gate should he head to?" Start with a division. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Add 1, and the final answer is 3. Hurry up, Marcus! Laura is enjoying a cozy movie afternoon when, crash! A ball smashes through her window. She runs outside and sees 4 neighborhood kids running off: Lily, Riley, Tom, and Mark. No one admits to it. Later, Laura finds a note slipped under her door. There's no confession, just a single symbol. Wait, that's a clue. Can you figure it out? It's a question mark, and hidden inside those words is a name, Mark. Yep, he's the one who threw the ball. John receives 3 mysterious packages. No return address, no names. Who sent me these? But the answer was right in front of him the whole time. Can you guess it? Look at the color of each box, blue, red, and orange. Take the first letter of each color and you get BRO. Oh, those gifts came from his brother. Nice. Isabella walks into a fortune teller's tent. The woman hands her a cup of tea and says, "Drink this. The leaves will point out your fate." Weird, but okay. Isabella sips the tea and hands the cup back. The fortune teller peers into the cup, gasps, and says, "One of these 3 men will change your life forever." So, which man is her soulmate? Remember what the fortune teller said? The leaves will point out your fate? But she didn't mean the tea leaves. She meant the leaf pattern on one guy's shirt. Yep, he's the one. Susan took her dog, Max, for a walk on the beach because he loves jumping into the ocean. As soon as they arrived, Susan went to buy an ice cream. But when she looked back, Max was gone. She started yelling his name and 3 dogs came running over. So, which one is Max? One of the dogs has a collar that says Max, but that's just a coincidence. Her real dog is the 3rd one, the one that's soaking wet. Max loves the ocean, remember? Her pet just went for a swim. Bella was bored during her blind date with Sam. So, to spice things up, she grabs 16 toothpicks from the table and sets up a little challenge. She asks, "Can you remove 5 of these and be left with just 1?" Take a closer look. It's not about numbers, it's about letters. Remove these 5 matchsticks and voila! You're left with the word 1 spelled out. Too bad Sam didn't get it. Stephanie gets home after a long day, and all she wants is that dessert she left in the fridge. But it's gone. She turns to her 3 kids and asks, "Who took my dessert?" Michael answers, "I just got home and haven't eaten anything yet." Nicole goes, "I didn't touch your ice cream." Jenny says, "I went into the kitchen last time at noon." Let's see. Stephanie said dessert and never mentioned ice cream. So how did Nicole know exactly what was missing? That can only mean one thing. She's the sneaky dessert thief. Jack is ready to find someone special, and he's made a list of pros and cons for his future girlfriend. Pros: love animals, redhead. Cons: likes rock music, works in the arts. He opens a dating app and clicks on the first profile. So, is he going to match with her or not? She is a redhead, nice, but she's wearing a Kiss t-shirt, meaning she's into rock. So, it's a big no-no for Jack. Next. A new profile pops up on the screen. Tell me, is she the one? She has a dog, so she must be into animals. Great. But there's paint all over her shirt. Looks like she's a painter, and Jack's not into the arts. Sorry, man, today's just not your day. Paul's grandma is showing him an old photo album from her younger days. And the most exciting part is her trip to Japan. Paul asked, "When did you go?" His grandma smiles and said, "In the fall of 1950." But right away, he realizes that his grandma's memory may have slipped just a little. So, what's wrong? Well, she probably did go in 1950, just not in the fall. Take a look at the photos. They're filled with cherry blossoms, and those only bloom in the spring. Mia wants to paint each fingernail a different color. She finishes her right hand, 5 unique colors. But when she opens her nail polish drawer, that's it. Those 5 bottles are all she has. Still, she's determined to keep her left hand colorful, without repeating any of the original colors. She thinks for a second, and then, eureka! She figures it out. So how does she do it? Simple. She mixes the color she already had. That way, she creates 5 brand new colors, 1 for each nail on her left hand. Oh, problem solved. Jake is in charge of setting up tables for a wedding. Each table can seat 5 guests. He checks the list: 8 people from the bride's family, 6 from the groom's side, and 10 friends they both invited. So, how many tables does Jake need to set up? Add the total number of guests, and we have 24. Each table fits 5 people. That gives us 4 full tables with 4 guests left. So, Jake needs to set up 5 tables in total. 3 customers walk into a fancy city bakery. One came to pick up a cheesecake. Another ordered a ham and cheese sandwich. And the last one's here for a fresh apple pie. Take a good look at them. Can you figure out who's picking up what? This customer is wearing an oven mitt, so he's probably here for the apple pie that just came out of the oven. The second one's got a shirt with a vegetarian symbol, so there's no way he's touching that ham sandwich. That means he must be here for the cheesecake, and the ham and cheese sandwich is for the third customer. A teenage girl buys a new t-shirt with a giant mandala pattern on it. At first glance, it looks amazing, but then she looks a little closer and something's off. The pattern is incomplete in 3 different spots. Can you find them? Yep, there they are. Nice catch. Ben teaches English to a group of international students. One day he says, "I bet you already know some colors in English." Then he turns to the whiteboard and writes the names of 4 super famous movies, but with a color missing from each title. Here's what they see. All right. Can you guess which colors go in the blanks? Only big movie fans will know the answer. It's pink, orange, green, and blue. At a fancy restaurant, 3 guests claim to be a vegan. The waiter comes over and takes their orders. The school teacher asks for a margarita pizza. The doctor wants a Hawaiian. And the journalist goes for a mushroom pizza. So, who's the fake vegan? Actually, all 3 of them. Those pizzas have cheese on them, and that's not part of a vegan diet. Margot was studying at the library. She took a quick bathroom break and came back to find her wallet missing. The librarian says someone was nearby but couldn't see clearly. Police question 3 students. Owen says, "I stayed at my desk the whole time." Finn goes, "I saw her, but I was just browsing books." Lucas says, "I was on the phone call with my friend, didn't see anything." So, who's lying? Wait a second, a phone call? Most libraries don't allow calls. you've got to be really quiet in there. So yeah, Lucas made that up. He stole the wallet.